6-shooters, a Charlie One horse hat, and a new ring.
Yeah, the ring is awesome.
Yeah.
Actually fit.
Well, then it's okay if we keep the check. You can take the
Here's a ring back.
Yeah. Jack, they didn't have a whole lot of practice at night, and while we've had races at the end in the evening, most of this one was at night. So their practice was mostly the daytime. Any concerns about that going into it? Looked like you guys had it set up from the start.
Well, it was a new tire, which we hadn't raced on the tire before. And of course, we hadn't raced here at night before. And we were really like racing them to the lights, but when the sun goes down, you're never quite sure if the racetrack's going to get tighter. In other words, if it's going to have more traction for the back tires than the front tires, or the front and the back. And the nationwide race last night actually gave an indication that it would look like it was going to be more of a problem to keep the car hooked up. And Jimmy said, the crew chief, Jimmy Vinnick, said that he really didn't have the car where he felt it was optimum. He was afraid to change it much because it was just fast enough to do what needed to be done.
Well, if I understand correctly, you had all your cars finished in the top 7 tonight?
That's what I'm told, yes. I don't know how the inspection's going. The Ford is, I don't know if anybody in the room besides me and Matt have driven the Ford lately, but Ford is really on the program this year. They've got great engineering for us, and they've got the FR9 engine. The new engine is really doing its job. This was the first time we'd run this particular specification. It had about 10 more horsepower than we had in Las Vegas, and so it was. I was nervous that the engines would last 500 miles here. And when I saw how hard Matt was driving, I was even more nervous.
I think the competition was nervous, to be honest with you. All right, I think we're going to take a couple of questions from the crowd, and I think Amy is somewhere back here. So let's go back and tell us who you are, and let's see if we can hear you.
Hello, sir. My name is Sean McWilliams. And first of all, I want to congratulate you on fantastic victories this evening.
Thank you.
And here's my question. How does it feel to be back in the winner's circle? And what did you and your team do to ensure this victory this evening?
Well, it feels great to get back to winning. It's been over 2 years. I don't know if it's our longest winless streak or not ever, but it feels like it has been. So, when you don't win for a while and maybe things don't go as good, and you're getting older and all that goes on, you start to, at least I do, but I'm a worrier by nature, you kind of start to worry. You're like, are you ever going to win again? Are you going to get back to, being in the conversation and being part of that group contending for championships or not? So, really our cars is thanks to Jack. I mean, they bring us fast cars, and that makes my job easy. And ever since probably, a few months ago in the season last year, certainly all our cars showed up at the racetrack faster. Carl won 2 or 3 races to close the year out, won a couple to start this year. Greg won a couple right down the stretch. David's been real fast sitting on poles and getting some good finishes here lately. So all our equipment is just so much faster, and that just makes my job easier, makes the crew chief's job easier, and they're a lot more fun to drive when they're like that than when you're battling mid-pack for sure.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, we have another question right over here. Okay.
Hello, sir. I'm Jacob Gonzalez. And what is something you focus on or think about to keep your mind off all the distractions and to motivate you throughout the race?
Well, during the race, you're usually pretty busy, so your mind doesn't wander much. But toward the end, I'm always thinking, okay, is the 22 going to make it on fuel? Is the 14 going to make it on fuel? How far is that guy behind it? Is it going to be a green-white checker? You're thinking of all the scenarios playing out at the end of the race. Where am I going to restart? What are we going to do for strategy? So you're thinking about a lot during the race. Really, it's pretty busy. And during the week, Monday's the day that we have all our meetings back at the shop and talk about what went right, the weekend before, what went wrong, what we need to improve on, what we've been doing really good. Try to figure that out and then get ready, look a few weeks out and start getting ready for that about picking cars and parts and pieces and setups and that type of thing. So we're always trying to think about how we're going to do better.
But you didn't hear any noises or anything because, when you...
I actually did with about 2 to go, but I didn't say it. And I was like, I told myself it was my imagination, but yeah, I actually did.
Jack, did he hear anything, or was that his imagination?
There goes my imagination for sure.
There's a lot of confusion in the cockpit from what I've seen over the years. And,
I agree with that.
there's certainly watching what the 14 was trying to do and what the 22 was trying to do. The 22 was going to have, if there had been a caution late in the race, he had 2 tires where everybody else was on low tires. And if he'd been able to sneak his way close enough to the front, he would have had more speed in his car late in the race than people that had been on all tires would have had. So there was a lot of ways the race could have unfolded. And there's, like as Matt says, he's been to the altar several times here. He's been a bridesmaid several times lately. And it's the first time he got the ring.
You finished second here twice in one season, if I remember correctly.
I could have. We finished second last race here to Danny. Had a good restart at the end and almost got him. And he was pretty dominant and just about got in front of him and couldn't quite get that done. And I don't know if it's the same season or not, but I know Jimmy passed me, I think, on the second to last lap one time, and Burton ran me down and passed me with a couple to go. So we've had a couple of heartbreakers here. And the hardest thing about that is to come back and look at all your guys because they're like, you're leaving with 3 laps to go. What happened? You know what I mean? That's what you feel like. Of course, they don't say that, but I'm sure
Jimmy was telling me
the
race.
Yeah, they might say one right.
What the team's thinking is that they didn't give you enough car with enough speed in it, so they're feeling guilty too.
They're thinking, we got you out in front, you can hold it.
So, and you've won here before, so this is you and Carl and Burton. I think are the only 2-time winners.
Yeah.
All right.
You went for a big streak here for a long time where it was all different winners, right?
Yeah, sure did.
Yeah,
Burton
2002.
won the first race.
Yep, he won the first,
Yep, and
and
I think did Mark not win twice?
not in Cup. No,
Not Cup.
no, he's won maybe 3 times in the nationwide bush. So
It all runs together in my head.
with all those cars. So okay, we have another question back over here. Thank you, Amy.
Congratulations, Matt. My name is Chance Britt. Question for you, it's a 2-part question. Is there a preference on you drivers driving day or night? And is there a difference on driver fatigue for you guys?
Well, the fatigue part is probably more weather conditions and how much we run under green, and get time to rehydrate and do all that stuff. I don't have a big preference day or night. I like Saturday night races. We all grew up racing Saturday nights, and I don't know because I've never asked that many of them, but I would think for you guys Saturday nights would be kind of more fun. You got Sunday to travel back home. The next day's the work day and all that stuff for most people. So I think there's a lot of cool things about Saturday night, especially with this weather. I'm glad it was a Saturday night because it was really unusually warm. But for us, it don't matter a lot. There's the lights are so good that they put up at these racetracks now, and the surface is a little bit more consistent. Visibility is a little bit better than it actually is during the day. So those are the pluses.
So when I first saw Matt was many years ago when he was racing against his first crew chief out here, Robbie Reiser, up at Swinger, Wisconsin. And the lights in this room are better than they are in Swinger, and this is a whole different kind of deal. But being the first really hot race of the year, you okay?
Yeah, I feel good. It didn't have much time to rehydrate and all that until after the race, but yeah, I feel good. Our cars are a lot nicer than they used to be. They've really done a great job with seats and ventilation and all the different stuff and installations and stuff.
Floorboards.
Compared to when I first started, it's amazing how much more comfortable they are and how much less fatigue you are and how much better you can actually feel the car because you're in there so good.
Now, do you have Exit Series or question over here?
Hi, my name's Ed Malky, and want to say congratulations to you on your win, and congratulations to Rouse for taking the whole weekend. My question is, how do you like the new point system, and how fair do you think it is?
I'll let you know when the season's over. I like the concept of the 1 point because it's easier for everybody to keep track of. I think when it gets down to crunch time, I liked it tonight because there's percentage-wise, there's a lot of big bonus points for winning. I guess if there's one thing I probably don't like about, or maybe concern me that would be different or something, is the penalty percentage of points for finishing bad is a lot greater. So if you have, in the chase, if you have one, bad race and the rest of the guys don't, and never finish worse than 25th or something, but it might be harder to make that up. Old system, there's more points in the top. It was 5 points per position, then 3, and then 2. So it's probably a little harder to make up points if you finish real bad, but I think that's okay. It's a nice mix between consistency and winning because certainly they got the last 2 spots, for the chase for wins.